Good morning. You're watching North Alabama's news leader. News 19 this morning.
America is on the move again.
Well, this morning, President Biden marks his 100th day in office. The plan he laid out to Congress to expand education and family care for Americans last night.
Cities across the nation now face a new problem in the pandemic, a surplus in vaccine doses. What that means is vaccination rates continue to decline.
And at 6 o'clock now on Thursday, April 29th, and I'm Steve Johnson.
I'm Melissa Rapke. We will get to those stories and more in a moment, but as we look ahead to Friday, we are keeping a close eye on the rain that's moving through North Alabama, and for that we bring in meteorologist Ben Smith. Ben?
This afternoon and evening, be prepared for some heavier thunderstorms. Our pattern is definitely shifting around here. Again, let's go ahead and check out downtown Huntsville right now. It is cloudy outside with some rainfall eventually headed our way. You can see temperatures right now are in the 60s to near 70 degrees, 71. That's a warm spot out toward the Shoals, Russellville. You're in the 70s this morning, and the winds are also starting to pick up. They will be a factor through the day today. So at the bus stop, 67, a mostly cloudy sky, a little bit humid. Sun's been up just a couple of minutes now. Look at the heavy thunderstorms out to the west. I highlighted Oklahoma here. They had 3-inch diameter hail yesterday along this frontal boundary, and that's the front that's going to be headed our way here shortly. Now, we're starting off dry here in the green. We're going to see some thunderstorms here through the afternoon and evening. So get ready for some strong gusty winds, slight risk for severe thunderstorms. A closer look at that timeline for us coming up in just a moment.
Well, as of today, President Joe Biden has been in office for 100 days, and this afternoon, the president will be in Georgia celebrating that milestone.
Ahead of his 100th day, Biden addressed a joint session of Congress for the first time last night. Now, during his speech, he pushed his American Jobs Plan and pushed a new American Families Plan. The $1.8 trillion proposal would expand education funding and family care benefits.
No one should have to choose between a job and a paycheck, or taking care of themselves and their loved ones, or parent or spouse or child.
Now, the president also defended the massive expansion of government spending that would be necessary to fund these plans. To pay for the plan, Biden said he would raise taxes on American corporations and the wealthiest 1% of Americans, leaving tax rates for those making less than $400,000 a year alone. All right, now after the president spoke, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott led the Republican response.
He said while the president has pushed forward several good initiatives, bipartisanship has fallen to the side. Republicans have balked over the cost of the president's American Jobs Plan and American Families Plan. Scott pointed to the success legislators had last year passing COVID relief after negotiations from both sides of the aisle.
We need policies and progress that brings us closer together. For 3 months in, the actions of the president and his party are pulling us further and further apart.
Well, one moment of bipartisanship did come when President Biden called for a new health agency to fight diseases such as Alzheimer's, cancer, and diabetes.
Well, if you're a Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama customer, you may have gotten a letter in the mail recently about an historic multi-billion-dollar class action lawsuit.
Some customers may be entitled to a chunk of that settlement, all part of a long-running antitrust lawsuit. News 19's Hunter Drinker joins us live this morning to explain who is eligible under the settlement. Hunter, why did Blue Cross decide to settle in this case?
Lawsuit claiming that Blue Cross Blue Shield violated antitrust laws by creating non-compete agreements within its individual plans, limiting competition in the healthcare sector. Now, Blue Cross is denying any wrongdoing in these allegations, instead opting for that nearly $2.7 billion settlement. Now, a U.S. district judge in Birmingham approved the settlement last year, but it's not yet finalized. However, those covered under the lawsuit have a limited amount of time to file their claim. So who's eligible? It applies to all individual or insured group plans, such as employee plans that purchased a health insurance or administrative services plan from Blue Cross from February 7th, 2008 through October 16th, 2020. Now, Now, it also applies to self-funded accounts that were purchased from September 1st, 2015 through October 16th, 2020. Dependents and beneficiaries are not eligible for the payment, and you do have until November 5th of this year to file your claim. So if you are covered under the lawsuit, you have 4 options. You can either file a claim, you can exclude yourself from the class action lawsuit, therefore reserving your right to file your own lawsuit. You can object to the lawsuit, or you can simply do nothing. We have all of those options laid out for you, including a link to file your claim right now on WHNT.com. Reporting live in Huntsville, Hunter Drinkard, News 19.
California officials are investigating the death of an Oakland man who died while in police custody. Alameda police say Mario Gonzalez died last week during an arrest. The department says Gonzalez had a medical emergency after officers tried to handcuff him, but his family says he was killed by police who pinned him to the ground for more than 5 minutes. Officials are conducting an autopsy to determine Gonzalez's cause of death. The 3 officers involved, meanwhile, have been placed on paid leave during the investigation. The 3 men charged with murdering Ahmaud Arbery are now facing federal hate crime charges. Arbery was shot and killed in February last year while he was out for a jog near Brunswick, Georgia. Travis McMichael, his father Gregory, and William Bryan are all accused of trying to kidnap the 25-year-old before shooting him multiple times at close range. The Justice Department says the men, quote, used force and threats of force to intimidate and interfere with Arbery's right to use a public street because of his race. The 3 men have pleaded not guilty to all charges they face.
FBI agents executed search warrants at the home of Rudy Giuliani, former New York City mayor and President Trump's personal attorney. That search, part of an ongoing investigation into Giuliani's dealings with Ukraine. Agents seized computers and cell phones from the apartment. Authorities have been looking into whether Giuliani helped Ukrainian officials garner favors from former President Trump in exchange for dirt on Democratic rival President Biden and his son Hunter. Last year, agents attempted to search the apartment but met resistance from Justice Department officials appointed by then-President Trump.
Well, COVID-19 cases are decreasing in the U.S., but experts say so are American vaccination rates. With more than 1,000 doses expiring tomorrow, officials in Philadelphia are scrambling to ship them to other distribution sites so they won't go to waste. For the first time in more than a month, the U.S. is inoculating fewer than 2.5 million Americans a day, and vaccinations are down more than 23%.
Teeing off today, the inaugural Huntsville Championship Golf Tournament in South Huntsville.
The tournament, set to be played a year ago, was pushed back because of the pandemic, but now the golf world gets to see what the Tennessee Valley has to offer. And we have News 19's Samson Tamajani live from the Ledges Country Club this morning with a look at what to expect. Samson, the organizers have waited for today for quite some time.
Yeah, good morning, Melissa. Yeah, we're just about a half hour away from the first tee times of the players who've come from all over the world to take part in this event after waiting a year. Now, here's what has some organizers really excited about getting this underway. Hosted by the Ledges Country Club, first opened in 2000 with an award-winning course that was one of the key reasons for Huntsville applying to host such a tournament for the Professional Golfers Association. The championship, part of the Korn Ferry Tour, which works as a sort of a minor league to the PGA. It features 8 former collegiate golfers who played at Alabama colleges as well, including Lee Hodges, who hails from Ardmore in Limestone County. And we'll be here all morning long showing what is going on over here and how you can take part as well this weekend while also staying in line with COVID guidelines that are in place. Now, live this morning, Samson Tamajani, News 19.
Our weather patterns changing once again. Here comes a frontal boundary. That means rain and thunderstorms later on today. A closer look at that time frame, and could we see severe weather? I'll answer that for you as well.
Good morning. You're watching North Alabama's news leader with Melissa Ryopka, Steve Johnson, meteorologist Ben Smith. This is News 19 this morning.
Overcast from Green Mountain this morning. No problem for that morning commute. Evening commute, highly questionable with a good chance for rain and thunderstorms to take over the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s, another warm start to your day, and the winds are also starting to pick up out of the south. It'll be gusty today, over 20 miles per hour. So here's our frontal boundary. It's out here to the west. Look at all these thunderstorms developing along it. We've had multiple severe thunderstorm warnings this morning. Of course, this is the same system that brought all that hail across Oklahoma. And our forecast, well, get ready for afternoon thunderstorms as we head closer to 2, 3, 4 o'clock. This is 5 o'clock. Heavy thunderstorms at times today. Could be a wet ride home. Picking up the kids from school today, there could be some scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially across northwest Alabama. This is 8 o'clock. More heavy thunderstorms as our frontal boundary continues to press on through. As we get after midnight, there will still be a few showers around, but things will be calmer from the north and west down to the south and east. And then as we head into Friday, that north wind, cooler and drier air, low to mid 70s for Friday. Friday night into Saturday morning, it'll be cool, noticeably cooler on Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, couldn't ask for a better scenario before more showers are in the forecast on Sunday. And then next week, we'll have to watch Monday and Tuesday, perhaps even into Wednesday, another round of some stronger thunderstorms for us in the Tennessee Valley. Everybody has the potential for a severe thunderstorm later on today. The entire area is under a slight risk for severe thunderstorms, including strong gusty winds later on today. And once again, have multiple ways to get warnings. Live Alert 19, make sure your location's turned on, make sure your alerts are turned on, and you'll be ready to go for this afternoon and evening. So for today, afternoon, early evening thunderstorms, gusty winds at 80 degrees, overnight lows tonight 57, thunderstorms mainly early, and then cooler and drier air takes over on Friday. It's 75 degrees. Check out Saturday morning is down to 47. Next week, more scattered showers and thunderstorms, the potential for heavy rainfall Monday and Tuesday.
Time now for an update on your First Alert traffic report. And while you may need to give yourself a little extra time to get where you're going later on today, this morning everything looks great. Governor's Drive, we do have a little bit of traffic building there at the light, but no problems. And even on 565 here at County Line Road, traffic is at least moving. It's a little bit slow. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. But for the moment, it is moving. No crashes, certainly, and no stalls. One thing we do have that you'll want to watch out for if you're exiting County Line Road. Oh, sorry, guys. Let me get this set up so you can see my screen. If you are exiting off exit 7 on 565 from County Line, you're going to have a car that is stopped there, and that may cause some problems for people trying to get off onto the ramp. And then same situation here on 65. If you're coming off at 65 and exiting to go toward Decatur, taking exit 340A, car stopped right there on the ramp, so please do be careful. And if you're getting on to 565, just a little bit of traffic starting to build there. It's described as standstill, but from what we're seeing from our cameras, it is moving, just definitely getting a little bit more congested the closer you get to the interchange there. Again, though, no major problems, and that is a good way to start our Thursday morning, especially since it may get messy later on.
An old church building in Morgan County has been transformed into a community thrift store.
And those running it say it is all in an effort to help their neighbors. News 19's Ashton Hiron joins us this morning. And Ashton, this thrift store is run by a local ministry.
Yeah, it's run by River of Life Ministries, who spearheads several community organizations and events in Morgan County. But this thrift store is pretty easy to miss as you drive south on Highway 231 in Lacey Spring, heading over Brindley Mountain. It's a little old church with some big ambitions. River of Life at Gasoline Alley opened in October of 2020, located in an old church building, which Director of River of Life Ministries Pam Turney says is owned by the community. The thrift store operates with a community-first mindset, with proceeds going to those in the Lacey Spring and Morgan County area who are in need. Turney says they've offered free creative classes at the store, teaching skills like art and sewing. They've also put the proceeds towards random goodwill charities, like helping people with utilities and water bills.
We are looking for creative ways in the eastern area of Morgan County just to bring change for the good for our residents of this area. There is a lot of poverty, and spiritually and financially, and we're just trying to find pockets of respite.
Tony says she's had the dream to run a thrift store for years. She says she just wanted to be a blessing to the community. And River of Life Ministry is also involved with Graves Grocery, and if you're a frequent traveler along Highway 231 South heading over the mountain, you should know that if you stop by the thrift store before 6 p.m. on your way home from work, there are now options to pick up home-cooked to-go meals. That's on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You just have to call Graves Grocery ahead of time to place an order. And just like the thrift store, those proceeds will go back into the Lacey Spring community.
The future of golf will take to the ledges for the first ever Huntsville Championship. Round 1 gets underway in just a few hours. Korn Ferry Tour President Alex Baldwin couldn't be more excited. We'll hear from her coming up next in sports.
Now, here's your News 19 morning sports wrap-up, sponsored by Mountain Dew.
156 of the best golfers in the world will tee off Thursday at the Ledges in round 1 of the Huntsville Championship. Some of them have been on the PGA Tour, others looking to climb up the ranks and secure their spot. The Korn Ferry Tour is the ticket to getting there. You win enough here, you're on your way to playing with the Justin Thomases and Bubba Watsons of the world. Alex Baldwin has been the president of the Korn Ferry Tour since 2019, bringing it to the Rocket City for the very first time. She's excited to be here and hoping for a great week of golf.
I'm expecting a fantastic week. The Huntsville community, the state of Alabama, has welcomed us with open arms, just gracious hospitality, kindness. Our players have arrived and couldn't be more impressed with the golf course, and again, the community and the welcome that they've received.
We've had a lot of tour players come through here over the years and play the course, and it's been cool to watch. But to have a tournament this size, 156 players, some of the best players in the world, coming here and playing, I'm just ready to see the challenge that they have at the golf course.
Some golfers in this field with ties to the state of Alabama. We have our locals, Lee Hodges and Connor Godsey, and Dominic Fazeli of Auburn, Trey Mullinax and Davis Riley of Alabama, and Zach Sucher and Will Wilcox of UAB, who will be bringing you coverage from round 1 all day long. The conference has released the schedule for SEC Media Days. The 4 days, players, times will be announced at a later date. But coaches, they're here. July 19th, Dan Mullen, Ed Ogeron, Shane Beamer, Kirby Smart. Kirby's on Tuesday. Then you got Mark Stoops, Lane Kiffin, and Josh Heupel. Thursday, Nick Saban, Mike Leach, Jimbo Fisher, and Clark Lay. And then you go to Friday, Sam Pittman, Auburn first-year head man Brian Harsin, and Eli Drinkwitz. We are less than 3 months away. Madison Academy has announced the hiring of Krista Baldwin as its girls basketball head coach. The former UAH women's basketball assistant replaces Alyssa Flowers, who won a state title with the team in 2018. Here's Baldwin's statement in part on the hiring. She said, quote, "The culture of Madison Academy is unlike any school I've stepped into, and I'm excited to be a part of that family," end quote. Let's go to Hilda B. Anderson Softball Stadium. UNA playing host to Murray State. Harley Stokes will start this highlight off with a bang. How about a grand slam to get things going for the Lions? And the Bats were not done. Bottom 5, Georgia Land at the dish now. Texas Leaguer into shallow right field, but it gets the job done. 2 runs come home to score on the RBI single in the 6th. It's Land again. And how about this? A walk-off grand slam on senior day for the win. Lions get the victory in 6 innings, 11-0, the final score. For more, you can check out WHNT.com. That's it for sports.
All right. A simple act of kindness turned into a life-changing boost for a homeless man in Louisiana. The man named Jamie was sleeping outside of a car dealership. The staff didn't kick him out. Instead, they let him sleep and even offered him a meal. After positive responses on social media, the dealership staff decided to start taking Jamie on regular trips for food and necessities, and that's when a GoFundMe campaign was created. It originally had an initial goal of $1,000. It's now raised more than $22,000.
Well, a family in Southern California is recovering after intruders invaded their homes.
Yeah, the culprit, hundreds of birds. The mom says they came home from dinner to find the flock swarming around inside after swooping down their chimney. She added the family counted at least 800 birds inside their home. They stopped counting after that.
A video from inside showed the birds pushing up against that window. They're flapping their wings up on the ceiling. The family stayed in a hotel while a bird expert finally was able to get them out. An expert says the birds were migrating and looking for a place to stay. And to make sure this never happens to you, and oh my gosh, how awful would this be? Keep your chimney flue shut and make sure the top isn't rusted or there are any holes in there where the birds can get through.
Okay, a 2-year-old demonic chihuahua that went viral is now found a forever home.
Okay, we're not calling him demonic. That's kind of what he got picked up with on social media as thousands of people watched him after his foster family posted an honest adoption ad about him. It said, Prancer hates men, children, and other animals. But now he is in his forever home. His new mom is single and has no other pets, so she is safe from the wrath of Prancer. If you're interested, though, you can still keep up with his journey because, of course, he now has his own social media account.
Can she not date?
That's kind of, I mean, I guess it has to be Prancer approved.
Good morning. You're watching North Alabama's news leader. News 19 this morning.
Good morning. It is 6:30 and we are taking a live look at the ledges in Huntsville where professional golfers are getting ready to tee off for the first round of the Huntsville Championship. The weather holding out this morning. It does not look so great for golf this afternoon, though, as storms will be rolling into North Alabama. Meteorologist Ben Smith will have more on that in just a moment.
Now for your News 19 eye-opener on Thursday, April 29th.
America is on the move again.
At his first address to a joint session of Congress, the president unveiled his American Families Plan, a $1.8 trillion proposal that expands education and family care. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, who delivered the Republican response, said the president is working without reaching across the aisle.
The FBI raided the New York City home and office of former President Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. The move was part of an apparent probe into the former New York mayor's business dealings in Ukraine.
Huntsville City Administrator John Hamilton laid out 7 responses to comments and suggestions raised in the Police Citizens Advisory Council's report. Hamilton did acknowledge gaps in communication between HPD and other agencies.
No problem for the early morning commute, but by the time you get off work today, there will be some showers and thunderstorms in the area. Here's a live shot, 565 out of Greenbrier Road. Again, skies are cloudy and no rainfall yet, 64 at Huntsville International. That's the current temperature, 71 in the Shoals, Russellville, 60 southern middle Tennessee, 63 down at Albertville, and 59, you're the cool spot in Fort Payne. The winds today will be a factor, gusting over 20 miles per hour later on. So again, bus stop forecast, mostly cloudy, a little warm, a little breezy, a little humid out there at 67. Here's the bigger view. That's a tornado watch up until 8 o'clock this morning. That's the frontal boundary that will be impacting our forecast later on. There are already some heavy thunderstorms on the west side of Memphis. So again, the orange, no rain. The green, definitely some scattered showers and thunderstorms developing through this afternoon into this evening. Strong gusty winds. We could have a few severe thunderstorms as well. And again, winds will be the main factor as we head through this afternoon. And then cooler weather on Friday. The weekend's almost here. We'll have that for you as well in just a moment.
All right, time now for your first alert traffic report. And we want to take another look at 565 at Greenbrier from a different perspective than the one Ben just showed you, because this one really shows the traffic starting to back up coming here headed east into Huntsville and then trying to get off the ramp there. And as we walk over and take a look at our Waze app, we can see why that is. Unfortunately, we have picked up our first crash of the morning, and this is going to be just past the interchange with 65 right there off the ramp. So a really bad spot. It already has traffic backing up coming up 65 north trying to get on to 565 heading east into Huntsville. That's our only crash of the morning. It is not our only area where we're seeing some very slow traffic, though. 72 in the Gurley area. This is impacting traffic heading westbound through what would be Gurley Pike. So if you're trying to get to Madison County Elementary School, getting past the post office there, it's down about 24 miles an hour. And this is likely connected with the ongoing construction that we've seen, although we're not seeing any workers out there just yet. This is still an active construction zone.
Well, this morning, the Huntsville City leaders are responding to the Police Citizens Advisory Council report that provided recommendations following last summer's protests.
City councilors held a work session last night to discuss the report. News 19's Hunter Drinkard is live from outside City Hall there. So, Hunter, what was the response from city leaders?
Well, that's right, Melissa and Steve. One area where there seems to be a lot of agreement is that there was a failure of communication between HPD and the other law enforcement agencies that responded. But when it comes to the tactics that HPD used to disperse those crowds last summer, there are some gray areas. Now, Huntsville City Administrator John Hamilton spoke during last night's work session, saying that drone footage from the protest proved that each time officers elevated their response tactics, more of the crowd did disperse. And he also says just because the protests were peaceful doesn't mean that they weren't unlawful, and that officers acted appropriately to address those unlawful protests.
And our officers and the leadership of the department knew very well that they were going to manage a protest that was directed at them. That was no secret, was well discussed, heavily influenced the chief's guidance to his team ahead of the event, and that was understood extremely well.
Councilmember Devin Keith brought up the issue of body camera footage, saying if officers truly did follow policy, they should be able to release the body camera footage, proving that. Another big topic was the lack of coordination between the agencies that responded and just who had jurisdiction. Council members said they would like to see a memorandum of understanding to address that issue.
I'm going to say for the public record, I don't want the sheriff, the deputies, anywhere near our citizens in this city unless our chief is in charge.
Now, Huntsville Police Chief Mark McMurray was at the meeting last night. He spoke to News 19 after it wrapped up, responding to allegations from the report that HPD officers were seen on body camera footage violating policy. He says they did not see any evidence of that in their initial review, but that they do need more time to go through the 300 hours of footage. Reporting in Huntsville, Hunter Drinkard, News 19.
Well, today, an Elkmont teenager accused of killing his father, stepmother, and 3 siblings will appear in court for an arraignment. A judge is set to formally charge Mason Sisk at 9 a.m. in a Limestone County courtroom. Sisk is facing capital murder charges after authorities say he admitted to the shootings, which occurred when he was just 14 years old.
A teen has now been convicted in the 2019 death of Auburn University sports announcer Rod Bramblett and his wife. Wednesday, a judge sentenced 18-year-old Johnston Edward Taylor in the fatal crash. According to local news outlets, the sentence has not been released because Taylor was granted youthful offender status. Taylor had faced 2 counts of reckless manslaughter. He was 16 at the time of the wreck. As a youthful offender, Taylor faces a maximum sentence of 3 years. This morning, students at Mountain Gap Middle School will start remote learning.
And the move comes after an increase in COVID-19 cases and quarantines at the school. News 19's Ashton Hiron joins us in studio. And Ashton, as far as we know, this is just going to last through the end of the week.
As of now, for Thursday and Friday, then traditional students are scheduled to go back into the classroom for in-person learning on Monday. The middle school had 6 confirmed cases of the virus and 72 people quarantined. That's according to numbers reported on the district's COVID-19 dashboard on Tuesday. They're the most recent numbers they have there. And currently they are the only school in the Huntsville City School District to be on remote learning. Now, the school district says they will still serve meals for students on weekdays during the remote learning period from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Listen, Steve.
All right, Ashton. Well, happening today, fans can get a look at the Huntsville Championship from the Ledges Golf Club for the first time.
But they will have to follow COVID-19 protocols while they are there. And News 19's Samson Tamajani joins us live from the Ledges. Once more to take us through what to expect if you want to make your way over to the inaugural tournament, including an offer to some of our local heroes. Samson?
That's right, Melissa. We just teed off over to my left just a few minutes ago. It's officially underway, and the tournament is also making a pitch to golf fans of military and healthcare backgrounds this weekend to be a part of the action, all for free. Now, for this tournament, organizers offer complimentary admission for all active and retired U.S. military, National Guard, reservists, first responders, and healthcare workers. This allows access onto the tournament grounds as well as into the Heroes Pavilion, which has free snacks and drinks over at the 17th hole. So here's a breakdown for fans looking to get in at any point this weekend. As mentioned, first responders, healthcare workers, and active or retired military tickets are free. Fans over 16 years of age only pay $11.75 for general admission. Now, as part of COVID precautions, though, you are asked to check your temperature before arrival to confirm you don't have a fever of 100.4 or more. And masks will be, of course, required indoors as well as outdoors unless you are eating or drinking at the time. Now, throughout this tournament this weekend, we'll bring you updates on air and online as well at WHNT.com. Live this morning, Samson Tiamajani, News 19.
Hi, it's Samson. A big change coming to 565 later this morning, what it means for the Rocket City Trash Pandas and your drive.
And there's a frontal boundary up to our north, and it's headed to the Tennessee Valley. That means a greater chance of rain and thunderstorms. A closer look at that timeline as you plan this afternoon, and maybe another system next week. In just a moment.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Ben Smith.
Cloudy sky in downtown Huntsville, but Minor Hill and even Huntsville Hospital. It's overcast in Florence, getting ready for a round of afternoon and early evening thunderstorms. Everybody in the 60s to near 70. Another really warm start to the day, and that south wind is also starting to pick up, and those gusts will be impressive today, over 20 miles per hour later on. Here's the deal. Heavy thunderstorms now approaching Memphis, getting some heavy thunderstorms around the Little Rock area. There is a tornado watch up for another hour or so along our frontal boundary, and that's the front that's going to increase our chance for rainfall this afternoon. Now, our futurecast, I'm going to stop this many times here. 1 o'clock today, some of those showers and possible thunderstorms heading into northwest Alabama. This includes the Shoals. So, picking up the kids from school today could be a little wet out there. By 3 o'clock, you can see the scattered showers and thunderstorms pressing eastward. Some of these will contain strong gusty winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. That's why we have that slight risk for severe thunderstorms for gusty winds this time. 6 o'clock, the ride home could be a little bit wet from work today. And even during the overnight hours, there will be a round of heavy thunderstorms still in our forecast. I think things will be a little bit calmer after midnight tonight, and then check out Friday morning into the afternoon. We get a north wind behind that frontal boundary that will cool us off and dry us out. Only low to mid 70s on Friday afternoon. Saturday morning will be almost perfect outside. Upper 40s expected and mid 70s on Saturday afternoon with no rainfall. Rain chances are up a little bit on Sunday, and then we need to watch next week. We could have another round of some stronger thunderstorms by Monday and Tuesday. Here's a Storm Prediction Center outlook. Again, slight risk for severe weather. At this point, it looks like strong, damaging winds will be the main threat this time. Multiple ways to get warnings. Once again, Live Alert 19. Download that app if you haven't done so. Of course, your NOAA Weather Radio. Make sure that has batteries in it as well. So for today, how about 80 degrees, afternoon thunderstorms, gusty winds. Thunderstorms mainly early tonight down to 57. Then tomorrow is going to be nearly perfect outside at 75 for the afternoon with that north wind. Saturday afternoon, upper 70s, no rainfall. Another round of afternoon showers on Sunday, and then get ready for perhaps more strong thunderstorms to start next week.
Today, Madison City officials will officially open the brand new interchange on 565 at Town Madison, and with less than 2 weeks until opening day at Toyota Field, officials say it should make trips to the games for the Trash Pandas easier for drivers. Madison officials said to open that ramp at 10 this morning. New interchange, phase 1 of the project. It's expected to improve interstate access for Toyota Field for the folks who live in Madison and allow for additional developments at Town Madison. The new interchange will also benefit Redstone Arsenal workers who can use it to get to Gate 7. Well, there appears to be another Republican candidate ready to run for the 5th congressional seat for North Alabama. There is a website called friendsofcasey.com. It's Casey Wardynski, who used to be the Huntsville school superintendent. The website has biographical information and links to a video where Wardynski explains why he's running to represent North Alabama. Wardynski has not made his candidacy official, and the website did not explicitly mention the 5th district, but it is widely expected Wardynski will make that announcement soon.
I fought the swamp when they tried to defeat President Trump, and I'll fight them again to protect North Alabama. In the Army, we run to the fight, not away from it, and that's exactly what I'll do in Congress.
Republican Casey Wardynski, a fearless conservative for North Alabama.
Well, at this point, the Federal Election Commission does not have any filing for his candidacy. Madison County Commission Chair Dale Strong and Huntsville school teacher Andy Blaylock have both already announced their plans to run. Well, we'll be coming back with one more time after the break, I should say, but our news does not stop there. We're going to have 2 more hours of your local news on WHDF, North Alabama's CW. We'll keep an eye on your traffic this morning as rush hour begins to pick up. Meteorologist Ben Smith will let you know when that rain will arrive in North Alabama, so be sure to join us at 7 for more of your local news. Check in with meteorologist Ben Smith.
Cloudy sky from Montesano at 65 degrees. Those showers and thunderstorms are getting a little bit closer to the Tennessee Valley. Everybody in the 60s to near 70 this morning and heading into work, just a cloudy sky. No rainfall yet, low 70s by 9 o'clock this morning. Here comes our frontal boundary, and that will bring us a greater chance of afternoon and early evening thunderstorms. Gusty winds the main thread, and once that front moves on by, check out the northerly wind here. We'll have some cooler temperatures tomorrow at 75. Saturday looks good. Afternoon showers Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, another round of some heavier thunderstorms. And by the way, this weekend, the SWAC championship is in Jackson, Mississippi. So A&M trying to win the SWAC championship, 80 degrees, no problem this weekend for some football.
All right, then here is your top 3 for this Thursday morning.
Huntsville city leaders responding to a recent report on the police response to last summer's protest. That report stressed the need for training on everything from police policy to crowd control tactics. City Administrator John Hamilton said that Chief Mark McMurray and Sheriff Kevin Turner have already begun addressing training issues. McMurray says he looks forward to working on some of the concerns raised in the report.
President Joe Biden has now been in office 100 days. Last night, he addressed a joint session of Congress for the first time. During his speech, he pushed his American Jobs Plan and New American Families Plan. The $1.8 trillion proposal would expand education funding and family care benefits.
FBI agents executed search warrants at the home of Rudy Giuliani, the former New York City mayor and President Trump's personal attorney. Now, that search is part of an ongoing investigation into Giuliani's dealings with Ukraine. Agents seized computers and cell phones from the apartment. Authorities have been looking into whether Giuliani helped Ukrainian officials garner favors from former President Trump in exchange for dirt on Democratic rival President Biden and his son Hunter.
Blue Cross Blue Shield customers may be eligible for a payment stemming from a class action lawsuit claiming that the company violated antitrust laws. Blue Cross is denying any allegations of misconduct, instead opting for a $2.7 billion settlement. A U.S. District Judge in Birmingham approved the settlement last year, but details have not yet been finalized. However, those covered under the lawsuit have a limited amount of time to file their claim. So who's eligible for the payment? It applies to all individual or insured group plans, such as employee plans that were purchased from February 7th, 2008 through October 16th, 2020. It also applies to self-funded accounts that were purchased from September 1st, 2015 through October 16th, 2020. Dependents and beneficiaries are not eligible for the payment. You have until November 5th of this year to file your claim. Now, if you are covered under the settlement, you have 4 options. We have all of those options, including a link to file your claim right now on WHNT.com. For now, live in Huntsville, Hunter Drinkard, News 19.
An old church in Morgan County has been transformed into a community thrift store. River of Life at Gasoline Alley opened back in October of last year. It's run by River of Life Ministries, who spearhead several community organizations and events in Morgan County. Director of the ministry, Pam Turney, says it is owned by the community. The thrift store operates with a community-first mindset, with proceeds going to those in the Lacey, Spring and Morgan County area who are in need. Turney says they have offered free creative classes at the store, like teaching skills like art and sewing. They've also put the proceeds towards random goodwill charities, like helping people with utility and water bills.
Right now for your first alert traffic report, and we're still watching this crash on 565 impacting eastbound traffic into Huntsville. Taking a look at what it's doing on the backside of that, traffic approaching the 65 interchange is down to about 6 miles an hour, and it doesn't get much better than that on the other side of 65. Another slow moving area here, sticking in the Decatur area, the Beltline down to about 15 miles an hour for drivers trying to make their way onto 20 and get into Decatur and perhaps over the river. While in Madison County, we have 53 in the Harvest area, down to about 30 miles an hour approaching Harvest Road, and 72 moving even more slowly there, 16 miles an hour coming into Madison County.
All right, here we go. Here's your extended forecast at 85. 80 today. We'll have some afternoon thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong to severe with gusty winds. Now, as we head into tonight, the rain will subside. Nice day tomorrow. And then next week, we need to get ready for another round of some stronger thunderstorms.
Thank you for joining News 19 this morning.
Your local news continues in just about 3 minutes on WHGF North Alabama's CW.